Before we go to the next sessions, I want to talk about few things. In India, there is a problem in the mass culture. So, what are the things we face or you expect to face? The thing is, if you talk about education with the standards of Ivy League and you talk about cinema with the best standards, there is a connection. There is a connection, there is an overlap, there is a connection. So, if you want to really study hard, if you really want to work hard, if you want to learn your art and craft, if you want to hone your potential, if you want to go for higher education, you can achieve great things in cinema as well. Naturally, there is an overlap, naturally, there is a huge connection. But the problem is, in India, many people are taking cinema as a side business. So they always provoke you to take cinema as a side business and they don't even know what to look for, how to have your process, how to figure out your own process, how to go for your dreams in the proper way, in the right way, so that you can actually go for higher pursuits. You can take up cinema as a profession, you can take up something else, because if you can do cinema, you can do any other profession. I believe that firmly. So the thing is, many people are having business in addiction, maybe substances. Not a bad thing. I'm not talking about bad things or good things, but what I'm talking about is, if you don't have the restraint, self-restraint or self-discipline, they will look for those specific areas and they will do something else. Suppose you are going for higher education, they will try to take you away from that path. Suppose you are trying to work hard in cinema or work smart in cinema rather. You are writing great scripts, they will tell you that the script is not good enough, this is that, they won't be able to produce it for this and that. I have seen some cases, I have seen some instances, and I have seen their nature, so I can tell you, and I have figured out their own product as well, their products, whatever they come up with. Sometimes we see the numbers, that's why we omit what is happening behind the scenes. So the mass culture is shaped in that way. So if you want to do something great, the way out is you go out of this country and you make your mark, and then they will try to give you some recognition, they will try to give you some reward, but the thing you have inside you, they don't realize it. So when you look at a talent, you realize what potential that talent can have, what he or she can achieve, in life, in cinema, in business, or in whatever be the profession. So when you go for higher pursuits, they will specifically look for your self-destructive patterns, and they know how to take you away from that path. So whenever they are looking at a talent, it means they are trying to take you away from that path, the path of success, the path of higher pursuit, and they will try few things, they will try a lot of things if needed, but they know who to take away from that path and what are the ways. So if you allow, suppose you are giving an audition, suppose you are showing yourself to them, it is not recognition of a talent. Rather, they are looking at you in that context. What is that context? The context is how they can take you away from that path, from the very path of higher pursuit. Now you can choose cinema or you can choose something else later, or maybe at that time you can do whatever you want, because you are free to choose whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do. The problem is there are so many ways. You can choose any of them or some of them or many of them, that's up to you. They cannot choose that. They look for specific ways. You have to do this, you have to do that, so one or two ways or few ways, and then ultimately the goal is, if you look at the character arc, if you look at the plot line, if I say so, in terms of the narrative, it is like how they can deviate you from your right path, even the path of realization of the highest truth. So they are taking you away from that path of realization, they are taking you away from the path of self-development, your highest potential. So much you can do in business, so much you can do in cinema. So you should really be careful, or you can take great risks, creative risks, but always keep that in mind, because when they are looking at a talent, it is like how they can take you away from that path itself. So if you think that by choosing them, you are taking that path where you can, hone your potential, do great things, you are actually thinking in a wrong way. Maybe in some context, maybe in some instances it can click, but overall, if you look at the Indian so-called mainstream entertainment, it is like how they can take you away from that path. Now again, I will mention one thing. Academy is the word. When you look at Oscars, we can talk about Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences. Motion pictures, arts and sciences. So arts, sciences, motion pictures, we are talking about that. Along with that, we have a term of academy. Now they, by their very nature, these people who are actually shaping the mass culture, they are against that term academy itself. They will try to deny, but you test for yourself, you test yourself, and you will see that they are against that term academy. So whenever you are going for a higher pursuit, you will try to respect that word academy. But they will try different tricks and techniques, how this is different, how this is very lucrative, how they can persuade, how they can manipulate, and all these things. But actually, the element of academy, the thing of academy, they are taking you away from that. So as a result, maybe once or twice you can have success, but you are actually going away from that path. But if you stick to your path, maybe once or twice you may not win, but the product you are coming up with, your process itself, you are proud of that. So whatever you are creating, people are accepting that you are having huge success. People are accepting that. When people are looking at the work itself, they are realizing it is something much more than the awards, right? So academy, motion pictures, arts and sciences, and maybe they are doing a different business. They won't tell you. You can be a customer of that business as well, but that does not mean that you have to go away from that path itself, the path of higher pursuit. It can be cinema, it can be business, or it can be anything else. I hope I gave you a few hints. Now gradually we will talk about business, serious talks about businesses, industries, differentiations regarding business. But these things you should keep in mind. You are not bad. If you have realized it, you are not bad. Maybe they have not realized it yet, but they have their positions, they have their networks, they have their influence to tell you that you are someone wrong. Maybe there will be a lot of peer pressure, societal pressure, pressure of that group, but I call it type 2. I will explain type 2 in detail with few diagrams or few theories, but understand, when I talk about type 2, broadly what they are trying to do is they are taking you away from that path. Even if you do a meditation, you can be at peace with yourself. If you look at the breathing techniques, you can be at peace with yourself. You don't need anything external. But they will try to do a trick or many tricks so that you can be addicted to external validation. That can be doing a dopamine surge to you. It can be in terms of rewards. It can be in terms of this and that, but external validation, hedonic treadmill, if I talk about, so you need to be aware of that. So you may be a customer of their businesses, the other businesses, but you should not go away from that path. Thank you so much.